Couple things, November 30th, if anyone wants to run for an office, I need to know by November 30th. Otherwise, the current slate of officers will stand for next year. So either call or email me if you are interested in running. So November 30th. I want to talk a little bit about the calendar coming up over the next couple months. We do not have another meeting this month because of the Thanksgiving holiday. Our next meeting will be December 9th, and it'll be our competition meeting, which is for silhouettes. And then we don't have another meeting in December because of Christmas and Hanukkah. Then in January, normally our first meeting of the month would be our party and our kind of our annual get together and election of officers and choosing the best image of the year. We can't do that with COVID-19 and not being able to meet in the church and so forth. So Valerie is working on getting us a speaker for that night. And then as far as the image of the year, what we're going to do is after the December meeting, because we need to see what the best of show meeting is for December. So after the December 9th meeting, Will is going to be loading the best of all the best of show images, and then we're going to have you vote on them. Now, Terry got really good cooperation by saying, if you only remember one thing, remember this. So I'm going to say this, but it's a couple of things, and then I'm going to repeat it again in December. You will only vote for 3 images. So we're going to open up on the website like we do for other voting. You're only going to vote for 3 images, and the one you like the best, you're going to give a 9. The one you like second best, you're going to give an 8, and the one you like third best, you're going to give a 7. You're not going to vote for any of the other images. So first equals a 9, second equals an 8, and third best for you equals a 7. And then you'll record your votes. So that's it. And we'll repeat that again at the December meeting. Membership renewal. We should be opening that up pretty soon. I'll ask Linda in a moment to come off mute. And that's actually all I have. So let me call on the other members. Let me start with Linda, Nat, if you would. When are we gonna open up membership renewal, Linda?
Hold on. There she is. Okay.
If you are going to renew your membership on the website and use PayPal, you can go in and do that now. If you're going to send a check, because I don't think anybody's going to send cash through the mail, I would rather have it go to my home address, and I'll give that to Marianne, so it's in the newsletter, because I don't get down to the post office because you're not going out, and I just don't get there. So I'll have you send it to my home address. I checked to the home address. Dues are staying the same: $48 for an individual and $80 for a family.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any visitors tonight? Or I know we have one new member, and Walter decided to join us for the end of the year. So this was Walter's first meeting and his first competition as a member. Who else is here? Let's see, what names I don't recognize. Danielle Lewis. Can you unmute Danielle? Hi, Danielle. Are you new member visiting?
Unmuted.
You're unmuted, Danielle. Want to say hi? If you're shy, you don't have to. Okay. We lost her. Okay, and how about Anastasia? You want to say hello if Matt unmutes you? Oh, there's
I'm
Danielle.
muted.
Hi there.
Hi. Hi, Danielle.
That's Anastasia.
Okay.
Hi, Anastasia. I'm a friend of Lynn Padaway's.
Ah, welcome.
Yes, thank you. And I'll be judging, I think, your club later this year.
Ah, terrific.
So
Great.
just popping in to say hi.
Well, hello, welcome.
Thank
And
you.
Danielle, you're off mute now and I can see you now. You want to say hello? Oh, your computer must be on mute. Can't hear you. Okay, well, it's good to see you, Danielle. Thank you for joining us tonight. And Harvey, I know your name. Augen Brown? Want to unmute Harvey?
Unmuted.
Hi,
Hi.
Harvey.
Hi. I'm also a friend of Lynn Padway's, and I was also asked to judge later in the year. So she invited us to Anastasia and I are married, and so she has asked us to judge, and she invited us to come and see what the competition was like.
Okay,
So
terrific.
we're joining you tonight.
Good, welcome. It's always nice to have guests. All right, does anyone else from the board have anything? Matt, do you have anything you need to cover?
I just have a couple things, I mean, it's for next year, but we're gonna have a gallery in Monroe Library. So it's a good time to start thinking about what you're gonna put in there. We're gonna need at least 4 images from each member because we probably need about 100 images to fill that gallery. And it'll be the end of next year, November, December. So exactly 1 year from today, we'll be in there. Well, a little bit earlier than that. I think it actually opens the first week of November. They haven't given the exact dates yet, but they will soon. The other thing we have is Glenny. We're submitting to that again this coming year. It'll be open for submissions the first week of January, I believe. Will said he could do it by then. Just make sure he can unmute. He can clarify on that. But those images for Glenny need to be submitted before February 16th. That's the cutoff. And we'll be judging which ones will actually be submitted during the following week. They have to be submitted by the 28th of February. And the last thing is the club now has a YouTube, and we're going to start putting the competition meetings videos on there. So if you've missed the meeting and you wanted to see how your image did, you'll be able to go on YouTube later and check out the whole meeting. Hopefully the recordings will work and we can get them loaded on there.
That's great.
Matt, will it be backdated ones too, or just going forward?
I have most of them for this year, but it seems to take like 5 hours for each video to get uploaded, so it's going to take some time. I have last month's uploaded now. It's not visible, but it is there, and I will turn it on so it's visible. I was going to show it to everybody that it was there now, but apparently there's some kind of error. YouTube's got a problem at the moment, so I can't show you. But it is on.
Matt?
Yes.
Yeah. If you're looking for the YouTube channel, what do you search on? CDCC or?
Just go to our homepage.
Oh, okay.
On the website. I will show you that at least. Give me 1 second here. That part I can show you. So you go to our homepage here and you click right on YouTube at the bottom of the page.
Real good, thanks.
And that'll bring you right to our channel. And we'll eventually have videos in here. And the best thing to do is to subscribe. And you'll get notified when our new videos are up.
Very good, thanks.
No problem. And that's all I have, Debbie.
Okay, all right. Anything, Melinda, for PSA?
I'm just waiting for Will to send me the results of round one, and then I will send them off to PSA.
Okey dokes. And Will?
Yeah, I had forgotten about
Oh, that's
that.
okay.
Let me note that down to me to send those off to Melinda.
Yep.
And yes, Glenny's will be up by the end of the year.
Okay. And Terry?
Yeah, on the NJFCC, a few things. First, the easy one. I sent out an email blast with all the winners of the fall, both the pictorial as well as the nature. We got four HMs in pictorial, and we got 2 in nature. The names were listed in the email blast. I'll also be sending out a notice to anybody who won an HM over the last year in NJFCC. I have your ribbons. I was holding them. I thought we'd be meeting by now. We may not be meeting till several years from now. So no, I'm just kidding. Only about a year and a half. So I'm going to send out something. You'll send me your address and I'll mail you your ribbons. All right. So I don't have to hold them here. You should have gotten an email which told you how to sign up for a meetup group and told you how to go in and join the NJFCC meetup group. It's important you do that. If you did do that already, you would have gotten 2 emails this week. One from the Somerset Camera Club, who was running a floral webinar, and you get notified. And you would have gotten one today from Roman, who's doing a night sky webinar. So if you get on there, you'll get and subscribe, you'll get notified as to what's going on with any club who's used NJFCC meetup to advertise their event. And in the future, we'll get Debbie going to use the meetup group to advertise our events if we want somebody to come from other clubs. If you have any problem with signing up for a meetup group or signing up for a meetup, you've never signed up for a meetup and joined the meetup group, I made the email. Matt helped me by doing it on MailChimp, which is very visual. Gave you a step-by-step procedure, but if you're still having problems, send me an email and we can go through it. The last thing is there's a YouTube channel also for NJFCC. So if you know how to go into YouTube and you search on NJFCC, it'll take you in there. They have their recordings of their meetings, and some of the things they do are on the YouTube channel. I'm going to get another email going from those people who've never used YouTube. I don't think there's that many, but once again, I'll go through step by step how to sign up for a YouTube, You know, you go into Google and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be coming along the way. That's it.
Thanks, Terry. Marianne, do you have anything? Can you unmute Marianne?
She's not unmuted. Hold on. Now she is.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
You are.
I don't have anything to say though. I still haven't done the newsletter yet. When do you want it out? ASAP? Now that I've written all this down, I can put it in.
Yep.
Does anybody have anything to send me? Other than that, if you do, please send it ASAP.
Yeah, and you already have the one from Terry. We can include that.
I have that. I also had the results for the results that Terry sent out for the I can't remember now, but I just looked at that. So
That's good. Well, we've got a pile of stuff, right?
I know it's a pile.
We got a pile.
I've been writing as you speak.
There we go.
So I got it written down.
Okay, terrific. Anything else? Anybody else? Did I miss anybody? No. Oh, Valerie. We already talked about the January, what we're doing in January, so
She should be able to unmute herself.
there you
She
go.
is.
No, I don't have anything new, but as usual, if you have suggestions, let me know. I'm trying to find new people to rotate in so that we have new topics and things.
Yes, and thank you, Terry, for sending so many over to Valerie. Yeah, please, if you belong to another club and you've heard a speaker and they, you know, you like them, and or a judge, you know, since we're doing things remotely, we really have an opportunity to not be limited by our, you know, where we are regionally. We can go, you know, get anybody from anywhere. So if you have somebody in mind, please let Valerie know on speakers and let Lynn know on judging. Okay, so we're ready to get started, we think?
Yep, let me just mute everybody real quick, and then I'll unmute you again, Debbie.
Okay, thank you.
And then I'm going to start killing off people's videos, and you're unmuted now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I get a big notice on my screen that tells me that.
Excellent.
Which is good. That's something new. So we have Becky Witt with us tonight to judge our abstracts and patterns in nature. I think, by the way, it's going to be a really good competition. I've had an opportunity to see a few people's images in advance, and I think this is going to be a really good one. We're going to see some really beautiful work tonight. Becky started out in photography because she had an interest in birds and in nature. So she started photographing birds and then expanded to all areas of nature and beyond, to include hand of man and non-nature. She is a past member of the executive board of the Camera Naturalists, and she is currently on the board for the Somerset County Photo Club. And she also helps to run the photography workshop for the New Jersey Audubon Society. So welcome to Becky. I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to add.
And I have to unmute Becky. Hold on.
Sorry.
Becky, you should be unmuted now.
Okay, that's good. Now I'm unmuted.
Now you're unmuted. Perfect.
All you said is correct, Debbie. It should be. I think I sent that over. Anyway, I'm just going to give you a little bit of my philosophy for the judging and for contests. For me, first of all, I want to thank the Camera Club for inviting me and to judge. And for me, the competitions are educational. It's a chance to see a lot of different images and a chance for us to learn from each other's images. And so I'm hoping that I will share with you some information that you will find helpful. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the wonderful images you have as well. So I will be giving commentary to the best of my ability, but always just remember, it's only my opinion. It's always subjective. I'll be looking for impact, technical quality of the image, as well as for composition. And of course, all three of those go together. But again, there's always some subjectivity to that. Okay.
Excellent. All right, we're going to get started here. We have our novice group here with 2 images. So we're going to get 1 HM out of the 2. And just figure out, Debbie, you're still unmuted, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, excellent. All right, and here we go.
Okay, level 1, lines and scales.
Okay, tree barks can always be very interesting. And I think the maker saw something there. What I do think, though, is this image could use a little more depth of field. I'm starting to see that some areas, and let me get my annotation tools and move that toolbar away from there. Okay. It looks to me like you're losing some focus definition in some of the areas. Okay, so you might have wanted to use more depth of field in here. The patterns are nice. You also might have wanted to try to use the levels and curves to give you a little more punch to this, to brighten up the brights, but also to give you a little more of the blacks. So to see that you have your blacks and whites. 7.
Aeronauts.
Okay, this is a very ethereal picture, and I'm assuming that was by design. So a lot of this is out of focus. Now I've got to consider if that's what makes this image, as opposed to what I was saying in the other one. It also is hard to find one area to focus on. You do have the darker center here, and so you might think that is true. But you know, I noticed that all the little centers of the seed pods are elsewhere in the picture. Okay. So I guess I think I'd like to see at least something really crystal clear, something to help bring my focus. Because your eye goes to the brightest parts as well as to the most in focus parts and the most colorful parts. Okay, I'm going to give this one a 7 as well. So that means I'm going to have to make a decision between the two.
All right, so we have 2 7s.
Right.
And let's bring them back up here.
Okay, and I'm going to choose the tree bark.
The tree bark is going to be your HM? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Excellent.
And that HM belongs to?
1 second here. Review. All right.
Susan Freeman. Congratulations, Susan Freeman. Nice to see you entering again. Good.
Okay, we have our second group here. We have 15 images. So we're going to have a first, second, third, and 3 HMs.
Okay.
And here we go.
Pattern of color.
And that it is. It's a lovely pattern of color. It's intentionally sort of soft focus to give you that, again, an ethereal moving feel to it, and it has that. One thing I would change on this, or one thing I think could improve it, is, again, as I said, your eye goes to one of the brightest spots. That's usually where your eye goes first, and also to the sharpest and the most colorful. And but the brightest first. And that area up at the top there is the brightest area. And I think you really want your eye to flow more through here. So I'll just clear it now, Matt. Oh, well, maybe I will. Okay. Anyway, but it's a pleasing image. I'll give this an 8.
Illusionary choice.
Double trouble here. Very creative choice. But I'm going to tell you, I do feel like I have 2 images. Maybe I'm not so stereoscopic. Anyway, and so I'm not quite sure which one I'm supposed to follow. And I believe the maker thinks I should follow both. And for that, that's a little distracting for me. I'm also looking, you do tend to be led down the path, although of course I go down both paths, following the walkway. So that's a nice feature of it. I'm going to give this a 7.
Sunflower seed head.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was expecting that the sharpest areas would be towards the center of the seed head. of the seed head right in here. But that doesn't seem to be the case. The sharpness seems to be out more towards the edge. And that's just probably where your focus went. So you might have thought about a little more depth of field on this one. But I do like the concept, and I do love the pattern it presents. And the offset's very nice. But the white areas down here, and you'll probably know what I'm going to say, you really get distracted. It takes the eyes away from goes down to this corner and a bit up here. So I think it would have been better to have a tighter crop, or to pick a background or darken your background a bit to make it a stronger image. As presented, I would say, I'd say a 7.
Owl head.
Okay, you saw this pattern in the bark, very nice capture. But again, like the one we saw earlier, I would also think that this could use a little bit of help from levels or curves to get a little more pop, to bring out the darks a little bit, and to bring out the whites a little bit, to give it a little more contrast. It also would be better, and you would see this better if you could darken down the sides. So it's a nice capture, but I think technically it could use some improvements. But you did see, you saw something really clever here. So I'm going to give you a 7 for that.
Moonflower bud.
Nice soft focus. I really like that. It makes a really good central image, and your eye is drawn right to that center. You've controlled most of the highlights here. It's a little hot here, and some of the hots here. So you might have controlled your whites a little bit better. But in general, I still go to here primarily because it is the most in focus part of the image. Nice presentation, like the non-distracting background, 8.
Scary.
It is. Okay, I have to figure out where we are here. Okay. So this is interesting in that the maker chose to use a lighter colored background and use the darkness to hopefully accentuate and bring your eye in. And that doesn't always work. So my eye keeps going out to these light spots. And I know the area that I think you really want me to look at is the tree trunk itself. Okay. The other thing I think you could do is you might like to try to open up the shadows in here a bit. So that could be done by dodging, but it also, and by your exposure level. But there are a lot of different ways to do that. And I think it could be a little sharper in here. 7.
Floral Portuguese man of war.
Very painterly effect on this one. And the not quite centered works for me on this. It's actually a very nice background. Again, although the background is a little lighter than the center part, the colors on this one pull you into the center, the purples, the deep purples, bringing your eye into that center. I know it's not a sharp image, and I'm assuming that was done intentionally. It's really used to be a type of like modeling and make it more painterly. I'll give this a 9.
All alone.
And it is all alone. Okay. For me, this is a little bit too much for the rest of the background's a little bit too much for the singular plant. And the reason it's probably too much is because we got these really bright accents of orange behind it. And it really draws my eye away from your subject, which is here. One thing you might do to strengthen this image, if you want to try it again, would be to darken the background a little bit, maybe vignette it, or the other thing is to desaturate it a bit. So to start to bring your eye back to this image, the one that's all alone. Nice concept though, I'll say that. And I'll give this an 8.
Falling.
Another very painterly one. I like the motion in this picture. It really moves your eye through the picture from sort of top right to to the bottom left, and like that direction, which is a really nice idea to capture it. And the different colors do, in this case, move me around the picture. The one area that I think this picture could improve in is at the bottom. To me, I think you could have cut it off, because when I get down here, it's very light and white, lighter down here, and it's drawing my eye down there. And for me, most of the action is up here in the upper portion of this image. So I think I would have either cropped it or darkened this area just a little bit to focus my eye. But as presented, this is a really nice image, and I'd like to give this an 8.
Acorn remains sinking in a grass whirlpool.
Okay. This is another one that's creative in the post-processing. Again, at least the nice intense colors of the acorn pull your eye in here. It would probably help somewhat to darken a little bit of these outer, the bright greens. But the area I would like to see it either toned down or removed or cloned out is down here, where it's very well focused, and it's not in the same vein as the rest. So I think that could be an area where you might want to consider strengthening it. But in general, it gives you a nice mood. The highlights, the exposure is well handled. 8.
Lichen.
Now, this maker took the very realistic approach. This is a lovely pattern that you saw right there in the fungus, the turkey tail, or one of the fungus like a turkey tail. And you did a nice job of darkening the back enough, possibly it could be done a little bit more, to focus your eye on this center, and you really captured it nice and sharp. And I think the exposure is very good. 9. I have my own judge judging me now. My husband just came up, so he's going to watch me.
Bird
Quietly, though.
eating its
Okay.
prey in a cutout, I think is what it said.
Would you just do it again? I'm sorry.
Matt, is it bird eating its prey in a cutout? In a natural cutout, something like that?
Okay.
Bird eating its prey, natural log cutout. There we go.
All right. For me, there's a lot of pixelation in this image. I'm just looking through it. I don't know if it was cropped a lot or if that was actually the technique, that the post-processing technique you use. So I'm really having a hard time finding the real subject, which I assume may be down here in the dark area. And again, as I pointed out before, your eye first goes to the brightest area and the sharpest area, and then the more colorful area. So there's nothing real sharp in here, and the brightest area is the opening around the log here. So for me, this is a 7.
Petrified.
Okay, so I'm trying to find a place either for my eye to keep moving through or my eye to land. And I'm going to do it again. I'm sorry, I'm a broken record. My eye's going to land on this white spot over in the corner, which I don't think is where the maker wanted me to go. It's a nice idea. It's a more painterly or a well-processed image. I mean, in the sense that it's not a totally natural or a realistic image. I like the other colors, but I keep going to that right corner there. 7.
Einstein.
Well, this was something I don't know that I would have seen. So that's very creative. Thank you. It's very creative, but I'm going to say I'm looking for something sharp to fall on. It's generally, well, it has a gradation from light to dark, going, lighter at the top, which is fine. But I really don't see any particular area that's really, really sharp. And I would like to see something sharp. And it might be hard to get the focus because of the reflections that are coming off this matter. I like the creativity, but I think the execution could be better. 7.
Morning dew.
Okay, so in this image, the maker chose selective focus. At least I'm assuming so. And you have a lovely, nice, sharp focus up here on the upper part of the chrysalis, and you may have done it by post-processing to blur the bottom. I like that this area, though, that is in focus is bright. It is sharp. I think I would have liked to seen this toned down a little bit, just because it is almost the same brightness as your major point of interest here. I like the positioning in the image. That's fine as well. So this one I'll give an 8.
Okay. We have 2 9s. So
Okay.
I'll need a first and a second out of those.
All right.
We have this image, and we have this image.
Okay. First is going to be the lichen. Second will be the one with the purple.
Okay. First.
Very nice images.
Second.
And very different images.
So we have 6 of these. These are the 8s.
Okay, and how many do I need?
We actually need 3. We need 4 of them. So we need a third place.
Okay.
And then we need 3 HMs.
Okay.
And I'll scroll through them, and then I'll scroll back, and you can tell me which one you want to look at further.
All right. Oh, you guys are making it hard for me. All right. Would you just take me to the chrysalis, the one at the far right again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, go back to the far left, sorry.
Okay.
I don't remember the name. The pattern of color, that'll be my third place, is that right?
Okay.
And now I have to exclude one of these, right?
You have to exclude 2.
Oh, 2, okay. Then let's go through if you could, let's go through the 5 I have left.
So you have 1, 2,
okay.
3, 4, and 5 images left, and we need 3 of them.
Okay, I'm going to keep the chrysalis as 1, this one, morning dew.
Okay.
The unfurled flower will be another, the flower one at the far, yeah, that one will be another one that I'll keep, that goes in as an honorable mention.
Excellent.
Now I need 1 more of these last 3, right?
1 more. You got this one, this one, or this one.
Okay, all alone, the single read.
This one?
Yep, that one. That's my honorable mention.
All right.
Okay, level 2. Our award winners.
And we'll go through this, and then we'll just take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
And then we'll start the third group after this.
Okay, honorable mention. Moonflower Bud, Ella Beam. Congratulations, Ella. All Alone, Matt Rink. Honorable mention. Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you.
Morning Dew, Matt. Also honorable mention. Very good. Third place. Pattern of Color, Terry Donofrio. Congratulations, Terry. Second place, Floral Portuguese Man of War, Pat Kurzel. Congratulations, Pat.
All right, let me just get a 5-minute timer. We'll take a 5-minute break.
Who's first place?
And I will make it so anybody can unmute themselves if they would like to.
Yeah.
And chat.
And chat will be open again.
Okay, I'm going to go on mute.
All right, chat's open, and anybody that wants to unmute themselves can. And here we are, group 3. We have 28 images, so we need a first, second, third, and 6 HMs. And here we go.
Okay, level 3. Swan feathers.
Hold on, Becky, you're not unmuted apparently. Let me find your name.
Okay,
There you
sorry,
are.
I
That's
muted
okay.
myself at the break. Okay. Okay, so we have a black and white presentation here. Oh, and it's a really, really close up of the swan. So you've got the different textures here. You've got the feather in the front. That's a nice smooth texture. And you've got this lovely, the texture of the overall of the neck, a little rougher texture. So the composition has that nice comparison of textures, a nice flow. The whites are pretty well handled. Nothing's blown out. And I think it's pretty well handled from exposure perspective. And I think one thing that might make this image stronger is you have a lot of the black space. Whoops, let me get back to my drawing. You have a lot of black space up here in the corner. So it might have been okay to even crop it a little more, so that you didn't have quite so much, so that it really contained the, and focused more on the image, the important parts of that image. But as presented, 9.
Abstract 2.
Okay, I mean, I understood this to be abstract and patterns in nature, and I'm not sure what part of nature this is, but I will judge it anyway unless you want to disqualify it. I just let me know. Okay. Okay. So it has some nice color tones. It has a very bright corner down here, which draws my eye away, and I believe the center of interest really is in this area here. So you might want to be careful or tone that down or even crop that part out. And there's a lot in there, and I'm just not sure where exactly my eye is supposed to land. So I'm roaming around looking for a place to land. So I don't find it the strongest composition. Other than the white corner down here in the bottom, and maybe the little bit of a highlight up at the top here, the overall, the exposure is well handled. 7.
Fungi patterns.
Okay. Okay, so you saw some nice, interesting shapes in the fungi, or the fungi, and that's what you captured. This is an image where, and it looks sharp. It could have even been over sharpened as part of the processing, but you know, this isn't totally realistic competition, so that's fine. One thing though is the background here up in the corner is a bit distracting. Some of the whites are a bit hot, so possibly a little bit overexposed. And I think all in all, there might be just a little too much in this image. Because it's pretty far to go way out here and come back in here, although that makes a sort of a nice flow. I think your image is more in this area here. But you did see something interesting. 7.
Snow on red rock.
Okay. You handled the whites very well. I see nice texture in the snow as well as in the rock. This is a real pattern shot. So it has nice movement with the diagonals all throughout the image. There's not necessarily one place to look at, but you can move through the image. The one area though I might have toned down or even possibly taken out is this corner down here, because I feel the 3 other lines are pretty well balanced, but this one just sort of pulls me out to the very edge. But somebody saw something creative here and captured it well, so an 8.
Grass bokeh through a Helios 44.
Okay, this one went for the very manipulated, whether in lens, in this case in the camera, or externally. And it has nice motion throughout this. The exposure is good, and it does move your eye through it. Even though there's some lighter parts on the outside, you do move towards the dark center inside. It's not any one place though to look, so there's not a real strong center of interest in this, and it is from this pattern. So an 8 for me.
Fern 2.
Okay, this is a very nice diagonal that the maker saw and used to lead us in through the picture. There is fade off in the focus as you go out from the center, although that is a creative decision. The brighter parts are here in the center, and they are some of the sharper areas. So that's good for me. That actually pulls my eye into the center. 9.
Blue spruce.
Okay, this is a nice, sharp, realistic picture. It's a little, there are a couple spots. Well, let me put it this way. I think for this image, I think there's a little too much in it, so it's hard to figure out where to go. I think a stronger composition would have been this. I would have taken out this highlight hot spot of a branch. And I would have also probably done something with this too. And maybe if it was cropped differently, that would come out. So I think the composition could be stronger. I think the capture itself was it was technically good. 8.
Blair Witch.
Okay. Nice use of the shadow on the tree. And that bright center, as I said, that's where your eye goes. So your eye really goes to this area with the shadow. You might have been able to even cut out a little bit more, but you might have liked the way it is already. I mean, I would have cut a little more from the right, because the real image is here. I don't know if you see, is there. Okay. So having said that, it's relatively sharp, and the lighting is well handled. 8.
Variations of fall.
Okay, so you're using the patterns of the gourds or the vegetables here to as your patterns of nature, and it's a nice set of 3. It's good color, and the saturation looks good, and the lighting looks good. I do like the 3 that I do move around from one to the other. I would have liked to seen this one a little sharper. There seems to be some fall off in that. And it is one of those that's one of the brighter ones looking at you. So that might have improved, I think, the over quality of the image. But in general, this is a nicely presented image. And I'd give this an 8.
Alocasia odsora.
Okay, glad you said that.
Yeah.
All right. A nice set of patterns here of lines leading us in and through it. And then terminating for me or culminating in the nice circular pattern or oval pattern at the top. It looks pretty sharp. It's always hard to tell sometimes with the manipulation or the post-processing. And it does, and my eye does follow that line and that pattern. I think it might be a little stronger if it was just a little darker here to sort of lead me up to this area a little better. But it still has that nice line to lead me. 9.
Fingers on the petals.
Okay, this is a very more or less realistic picture. I'm looking at the sharpness, and I don't know. I'm seeing a bit of aberration here along the edges, some artifacts. So I don't know if it was over sharpened or if it was putting in the background or changing out backgrounds. But in general, this is it's sharp. It's nicely lit. It's got a nice contrast of textures between the texture down here of the fingers, the petals, and then the background, which is very smooth. So that's a really nice progression of textures. 9.
Purple heart.
Oh, you went in for the real close-up here. Okay. Very nice and sharp in the center with the fall off of the focus. So that helps bring your eye back into the center. Good exposure. You still have some detail in the yellows. That's always something to watch out that you don't blow them out. But this one looks like it's well exposed. 9. I can see I'm going to have my work cut out for me at the end. Okay.
Mother Nature Mondrian.
Well, you really saw something here, Maker. You saw whether the window or whatever it is, using it to break up the picture like a Mondrian, plus all the colors of the vegetation outside. It's an interesting presentation. It's a really sort of high key in its presentation, so it's hard for me to tell. Some of the whites may actually be blown out, and that might have been intentional on this one. Okay. It's not the strongest from abstract of nature, so I'm going to give this an 8. It's well presented as it is.
Zooming in the forest.
Okay, a nice zoom blur. You handled the exposure very well. You have a nice, the nice 2 pieces, well, more or less 2 verticals, sort of making the center piece here. I think I would have liked to seen something right in the center really in focus, but it's all zoomed. And I know that's hard to do because that means you have to rest for a moment before you zoom. But it's a pleasing picture, well exposed. 8.
Swan preening.
Oh, now you're gonna have me comparing one swan to the next. Okay, this is very nice with the, again, you have the multiple textures with the two different kinds of feathers, the feathers that are being preened and the feathers which are rougher looking on the head of the bird. And then you have the red color here to help bring you into the center. Very nicely composed, the whites are well handled, has a really nice feel, a lot of sensuality in this one. 9.
Abstract 1.
Okay, I'm not quite sure where my eye is supposed to rest in this picture, and there are a lot of white, so there's a lot taking me throughout this picture, all over the place, really. So for me, I think it would have been better if there's something you could have controlled a little more for me to really focus in on. So a lot of the whites are bright, and it's really not a good, I don't have a good place to land, my eye to land on. So 7.
Refracted light on water.
Okay, a truly, purely pattern shot. Nice movement of the lines going diagonally across the image. A little brighter on the left than on the right, so that's really where my eye goes. It doesn't really move totally through the image. It goes to that left side. Okay. A little bright on that side compared to the rest of it. So 8.
Praying to the hoodoos.
Okay. Okay, so the exposure looks a little hot at spots, and I see that you saw something interesting in here. I think the capture could have been a little better. First of all, I feel like I don't really see anything that's sharply in focus, and I'd like to see something sharply in focus. And it is very bright all around the edges, but this white looks really blown out to me. 7.
Veins of green.
Okay, this is one where the saturation looks pumped up, but that probably is the intention. You certainly have the lines, the diagonal lines leading you through here. There's no particular place drawing your eye out of the image. So you really are led more or less down this path. So it's it's not like one central thing. It really is a pattern, and it looks like it's a good capture from a perspective of the exposure. 8.
Dill.
Okay. I like what the maker saw. Again, you know the brightest part is over here, so that's going to distract me and take my eye away from the center. Yet I think the important part is really in here. I'd also like to have seen these, a couple of these in the center here to be really, really sharp, to really bring me in and focus me. So that way you could have probably, at that point, you could have cropped it a little bit to get rid of some of the darkness or darken down that side. As presented, 7. Nice pattern though.
Yucca.
Okay, so this is interesting that we're looking down into the cactus and seeing all the little furry hairs. Okay. Okay, so you saw something interesting, you saw a pattern. It might have been better a little tighter, because what we're getting to out here is we have this bright red, or really a more intense color red along the edges. We have some really white probably overexposed branches down here. So they're really taking my eye away from this center part, or I think is the important part. So I think cropping this and possibly darkening down, but also getting rid of the bright white stuff on the bottom would really help this one. 7.
Dream state.
Okay, so being that this is a dream state, I'm assuming that the maker intentionally did not make it sharp in any one place. Okay. But I'm not quite sure where I'm supposed to look. So this really doesn't have a real focus for me. I have a really bright highlight here, and I have a really bright highlight here and here. So I'm not quite sure where I'm supposed to go. And it looks like the mass of the vegetation is down here in the corner. So I'm really not getting the picture, or this is just not a strong pattern for me. Okay, so this and I think you might have been able to handle some of these bright spots a little better. 7.
Circles, shadows, and spires.
Nice complement of textures in the cut wood, the core, and the jagged edges left behind. I think this image is a little overexposed because it's really bright down here. And I think you really want me to, for my eye to be more or less in this section. So I think either controlling it in camera probably first to get a better capture of the exposure, and then also possibly some processing that might darken it down a little bit and bring my eye into a one center spot would have been more helpful. 7.
Rainbow eucalyptus bark.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I like the colors and the patterns in here. This may be another image where less is more. Something to concentrate me a little bit more on one of these patterns. This area is pretty bright and sort of leads me away from some of the more interesting colors over here. It also doesn't appear to be very sharp, but that may have been your choice. Okay, so I just don't think it's as strong a composition as it could be. 7.
Going down.
Okay, so here we have 2 different patterns. We have the pattern of the caterpillar and a pattern of the leaf, and a lot of color in both. The exposure looks well handled. The whites in the caterpillar are not blown out. I'm not sure if I have 2 images though, because I want to follow this line and I want to follow this line, and I'm afraid they're starting to take me apart. And I just wonder if it would have been a little stronger if we didn't have the line on the left, or not the caterpillar. I'm not sure which. But good capture and how it was handled technically. I think the composition could be a little stronger. 8.
Guacamaya's eye.
Okay, here we have something nice and sharp in the center. We've got great patterns around it and a lot of good texture. It's very sharp and it's brighter in here. It really captures my eye onto that eye. The exposure looks well handled. 9.
Naked dancers in the sand.
Well, this is one where you really saw something very nice. I don't know if you could have made the sand a little sharper or if you intentionally left it grainy and sort of almost, it made it a little muddy. And it might be a little hot at spots. But I do see the naked dancers. It's a pattern shot. I almost wish this one was in the center because that's the brightest, and that's the one I keep wanting to go to. And yet that's the one walking off the canvas. Okay. So based on that, 7. Very creative view though.
Zebra.
Okay, and so it is. The image just doesn't seem that sharp to me. It's well handled. Technically, the whites are white and well, actually it looks like the blacks could be a little blacker too. So you might want to check your black point. There are some over here, so that might be just various gradations. Okay. 8. Now I know I have my work cut out for me. There's a lot of good images. So Matt, what must I do?
So we have 7 9s.
And I need what out of it? I need a 1, 2, 3.
Yep, you're gonna have to go into the 8s, which is really gonna be fun for you. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll try to do that then. Yep.
So we'll start with the 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And go from there.
Okay.
This is image 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's your 7th image.
Okay, I'm going to take them from right to left. My number 1 is your last one, which was my 7th, the bird's eye, this one's showing.
Okay.
My number 2 is the swan here with the beak showing. And my 3rd one's going to be the close-up of the water lily.
That's this one here, correct?
That's correct, purple heart, yes.
Okay. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4.
And how many more do I need from the 8s?
You need 2.
Okay.
You have 11 8s.
Okay,
we need 2 of them. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
6.
Yes.
7, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Okay. Number 4, the 3 gourds.
Is that the
Oh, did I do that wrong? Number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 gourds.
That's one of them.
Okay.
And the other one is going to be 4 down from that, the green, to the right, the green leaf pattern. Not that one. That one. Veins of green.
Okay. All right. So let's see. 3, 6. Yep. Okay. Now we'll review this contest.
Level 3, honorable mention. Swan feathers, Susan Little, congratulations. Kathy DeTana, Fern 2, honorable mention. Congratulations, Kathy. Variations of Fall, Melinda Matlock, honorable mention. Congratulations to Melinda. Alacacia Adsora, Vicky DeVico, honorable mention. Congratulations, Vicky. Fingers on the Petals, Stan Pepka, honorable mention. Congratulations, Stan. Veins of Green, John Aniano, honorable mention. Congratulations, John. And 3rd place, Purple Heart, Francisco Gomez. Congratulations, Francisco. And second place, Swan Preening, Susan Little. Congratulations, Susan.
All right, and we have our salon group. We have 14 images.
14, okay.
So we need a first, second, and third, and 3 HMs.
Okay.
And then after this contest, we will need you to do one last viewing of the first places and pick a best to show.
Right. Okay.
And here we go.
Veins.
Well, I like the pattern where it leads you through the pattern. Through the image by the diagonals. That's very nice. It doesn't have a single place to land. I also think this image might benefit from a little bit more curves on it, curves or levels, just to give it a little bit more pop. As presented, 7.
Ubehebe crater area.
Never having seen this area, I'm assuming that this is a painterly version of it. And I like that it has the various levels. You know, you can go back through this image. You have a front level, an intermediate level, and a back level. It's very muted. I assume that was the creator's design and vision. It doesn't have one central spot, and I keep starting to get anchored on this, getting stuck on that front dark area. 7.
Simple colors.
Okay, so you took more or less a high key approach to this, to the colors, which actually took out a lot of the colors or muted them very much. All right. Okay. Okay, this is a pattern, but I really don't have a place to really land my eye on. I saw something last night by a photographer I really respect his work and his processing. And this is the kind of thing where he might have said, you might have made some of them more hazier and some less hazy to help me really bring my eye into where it is you want my eye to land. As presented, it's a pattern, nice pattern, but I don't have a landing spot. 7.
Does anyone have some moisturizer?
Yeah. Okay, it has all these textures of the reptilian back here, various textures, and of course the spine is leading us into the picture. It's a little hot where it's leading us in. I think that's a little overexposed, but at least it is the lighter part of the image. But I also think it could be sharper. 7.
Moth wing overlay.
Okay, nice pattern. Very nice and sharp, simple in certain ways. And of course, my eye comes right to the center where this section is. Nice handling of light. 8.
Serenity.
Okay, this is another interesting picture where the white is sort of used as the background to help you focus on this leaf. It is a light, it's pretty bright in many of the other areas. So unfortunately though, my eye does start to drift over here and not necessarily in a good way. It's drifting away from what I think is the essence of the image. To me, the essence of the image is in here. And so I think this could have been cropped differently and composed slightly different, and really eliminated some of the really bright highlights that take your eye away from the rest of the image. 7.
Windy day.
Nice effect using the wind to create your motion blur or doing it in post-processing. You have some nice colors here. It's generally well handled from the exposure perspective. I'll tell you though, this is so very bright here, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to look here or here. So I'm starting to get split between them. And I guess it's the whole picture for this, but I don't have one single spot for my eye to really come to and land comfortably. But it is a nice pattern and it is well executed. 8.
Sunflower.
Okay, I like the position of the sunflower off center. The center of the sunflower is off center, so it's radiating throughout the rest of the picture. The yellows look pretty well handled. They seem to still have texture. Do your border patrol though. You've got this little white spot here, which easily could have been taken care of. And the other thing is, I really wanted to see this really sharp. And to me, that is not the sharpest. Maybe you needed more depth of field. I'm not sure. It looks sharper down here. Nice concept. I think the execution could have been improved a bit. So 8.
Ubehebe crater.
Okay, so this one took a more realistic perspective. And again, there's a lot in here. So there's a lot of good colors and a lot of good pattern, but this might have been, again, one where less is more. These white stripes up here, of course, are the brightest, so they're starting to take your eye off there. And I think you might have wanted the center to be up in the center of interest to be here, not over here where it's bright white. 7.
Driftwood in black and white.
Okay. I like the patterns in the driftwood. Actually, here's where the whites, since your eye goes to them, sort of leads you through a pattern. I think this shot would have been stronger if it was actually cropped in a bit. The realistic and very sharp grasses here to pull my way from the pattern of the driftwood, pull my eye away from the driftwood. So I think your image is more in here. You handled the highlights and the textures very nicely. As presented though, 8.
Abstract waves.
Okay, so this one you really did process this one, and that must have been the intent. So it's taking me away from some of the nature aspect, although I do see that it's still waves. And I do like that you have a corridor going down here for my eye to follow. Although these are very bright up here, and so they do take your eye a little bit away from the center. So I'm not quite sure exactly if that is where I'm supposed to look in the center. Might have been nicer if that was a little less bright up top and a little brighter down the center to lead me through the picture. As presented, 8.
Swallow wings twirl. Swallowtail wing twirl.
Okay, swallowtail's wing twirled, huh? Okay. Very interesting concept. Certainly not something I would have thought of. It's very creative. It's certainly part of nature, brought into, but manipulated. I think it's a little hot here compared to the rest of it. I would have liked to seen that toned down. And actually there's some hotness up in here too. And I think I really wanted to be led into the center here. So those are sort of distracting me away from it. But it is such an interesting creative version of this. I'll give this an 8.
Dancing stamens.
Okay, this is one where you use this selective focus to really bring out the image that you wanted, the stamens. And it really captures you in the center. There is some brightness around the edge, but you know, you keep coming back to that those really sharp stamen in the center. I think you handled the highlights pretty well. You might have, I don't know, you might have want to consider darkening it down just a little bit along the edge, just to continue to focus my eye in here. But as presented, I'd still give this a 9.
Backlit sand dollar.
Really nice concept, very well executed. I like the slightly off center, you know, in the rules of thirds, not that you have to follow the rules of thirds, positioning of the center, but then using that to really arc out from this. 9.
Okay, we have 2 9s. So we'll need a first and a second.
Okay.
This is first image.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your second image.
Okay, backlit sand dollar is number 1, and the dancing stamens is number 2.
All right.
Nice.
Excellent. Now we have 6 8s.
Okay, and
So I need a third place.
And then are the rest honorable mention?
There'll be 3 honorable mentions. So this is image 1,
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th.
1.
This one here is third.
Yes.
Okay.
Hard choices.
And then I need 3 more for HMs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are left here.
Okay. Okay, 1, 4, and 5. They're my choices.
So 1,
Right?
2, 3, 4,
Right.
and 5.
Yes.
Okay.
That was tough.
All right. So we'll review this contest, and then I'll open up the chat and stuff. And then we need one more decision from you after this.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, level 4 winners. Honorable mention. Windy Day, Greg DeAngelis. Congratulations, Greg. Abstract Waves, Lynn Podway. Honorable mention. Congratulations, Lynn. Swallowtail Wing Twirl, Tam Stewart. Honorable mention. Congratulations, Tam. Say that 3 times fast. And second place winner, Dancing Stamens, Debbie Aniano. That's me, second place.
Very nice, David.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll put together the best of show, and we'll have you figure that one out.
Oh, I don't know what happened to the Mothman. Okay.
Give me 1 second here.
Oh, jeez. I need to turn this off. That's Pete.
We missed the third place here. So let me fix that real quick. Hold on one second here. Third place got scored as a first place.
Is that his screen or yours? That's his. When he brings it back and he shares his screen, it'll go back. Boy.
All right, let's review the winners again real quick because we missed the third place winner. I'll just show the third place winner. That'd be easier.
Okay.
So this is the third place.
Matt, are you sharing?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Okay. Either that or I've got a problem.
Now I'm sharing.
Okay. Mothwing overlay, third place, Tam Stewart. Congratulations, Tam.
So now we'll go back to doing the best of show.
Okay. This was a very exciting contest. First, the subject, abstracts and patterns of nature, but also just the variety of images your club brought to the contest. And the quality.
Okay, so we have 3 images from groups 2, 3, and 4, and we need a best of show out of these 3 images.
Okay.
So we have first image, second image, and the third image.
Would you go back? Yeah, okay, great.
Second, first, second, and third.
Boy, they're very good, and this is a tough decision.
And I can flip to any one you want to look at closer.
That's okay. I'm going to go with the first image, the one with the eye of the bird.
This one here?
Yes. It was,
Okay.
believe me, folks, this is a tough decision.
All right, so let's review this contest now. And I will unmute first place winners. Oh. So this is a first place winner.
From level 2, correct? Or 3?
Not sure. I think that was 2. I don't think she's in the room.
It's level 3. She's probably with Tam.
So let's unmute Tam then.
So, or with or Sue, I'm not sure which.
Yeah,
So
somebody's
Lichen
messaging
by
me. Let
Mary
me see.
Little, you are first place winner. We have to figure out which level. I can't remember. This is beautiful image. Are you there, Mary?
I unmuted Tam.
Hey.
There you go, Tam.
Oh, yeah, she's here. Oh, hi. This is Mary. This is grows in our own backyard, and I see it almost every day and admire it. It's one of those little gifts from the natural world.
It's beautiful, Mary. Very, very nice. Great image.
Now, is this growing on a tree bark, I guess, correct?
It's on a tree bark, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
now, is this, did you take the image and spin it? Like normally it's the other way, or?
Is it upright or
They're asking you questions about it.
is it upright?
What did they were looking?
Did you
she's
turn
looking
it
down
or
on
is it upright
She
the
was
way it's
looking down on
presented?
it.
Which way does the trunk go?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Which way does the trunk go?
Oh, it's flat on the ground.
Okay, it's toward closer to the ground then.
So it's a dead tree, I guess. is
Yeah.
it?
Very nice. All right.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to.
Okay, and level 4, Greg DeAngelis, backlit sand dollar. Congratulations. First place, level 4.
Oh, would you name yourself, Greg? Maybe Greg's not here, so Linda. We'll unmute Linda.
He was here.
Yeah, he was.
I lost my mouse. There it is. Linda, you're unmuted. Oh, she just remuted herself, though.
There.
There you go.
Okay. This was a sand dollar that I had put a light behind at a macro workshop and with Mike Motes. And it just lit it up, and it was just made the patterns just come out so nicely and everything. And it was just a really fun image to shoot.
That's really neat. Did you change the coloring, or
No, that was the way
that was the color of the light that you put through it, or?
it was pretty much a white light behind it, but that's just the way it lit it up.
Huh, very neat. Did you like lay it on a light, or how did you?
Yeah, so if I recall, I put a light underneath a piece of glass and then put the sand dollar on the glass and shone
Okay.
the light through it, and then just cropped in on the pattern.
And then you shot this with a macro lens, or?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Very neat.
That's good.
And our best in show is
Francisco. Let me find him.
Guacamaya's Eye, Francisco Gomez. Congratulations.
Francisco, you're unmuted.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's the eye of Macau that I photographed in one of my scouting trips in Colombia. The picture was like actually the whole body, but I just cropped it to the eye, and this is what I got. Yeah.
Very cool. This was a blue and gold macaw, probably.
It was actually green and yellow.
A green, okay. I used to have a blue and gold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're very, very interesting birds.
Very beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
Was this a tame one?
No, this isn't the wild.
That was in the wild. Wow.
Yes.
So you shot this with like your 500, or?
Oh, I used my. I actually was carrying my 80 to 400.
Okay.
80 to 400 zoom.
Very cool.
And you handheld that, didn't you?
Yes.
Wow.
Cool.
Very nice.
Well, beautiful images, everybody. I had a feeling tonight was going to be really fun and special, and I agree with Becky. Quite the assortment. It was a great subject. And Becky, thank you so much for judging tonight and all your comments and suggestions. I hope you had fun. We certainly had fun having you here.
I did. Thank you for having me. And it's always educational for me to see all these various images. So that's, good ideas. Yeah, new ideas.
Thank you, Becky. It was very, very educatable. Very nice.
Becky, I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Who's that?
Vicky.
Vicky. Yes, of course, Vicky. I will be. Yes, hopefully I will do well there too.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you. Good night now.
Good night.
Lynn, I will send you that email that you asked me. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Anybody that wants to chat, I've unmuted you or allowed yourself to be unmuted.